morning. It's 9:30 on Monday, the 6th. Pretty crazy weekend. My son got to go to his very first movie. We saw Super Mario Galaxy, so that was pretty cool. He's just about to turn 3, so that was pretty incredible to get through that and have a good experience. If you haven't seen Mario Galaxy and you got young ones, highly recommend. Really fun. Lots has gone on. I don't know if I'm going to show off the space right now just because it looks insane. I'm more than halfway done boxing up all the sets. And then I also am changing the legs on the tables to be higher so that the I can put new rollers on the bins that go underneath them. So I literally have a table flipped upside down right now because I bought the feet, went to put them on last night, and found out the threads were mismatched. So got to learn how they label threads on screws for wheels. So that's new. Pro tip, count them. So did that, got those ordered. Don't know when they're going to be here. But sales have been really good. We did $911, and that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One of the days was ultra slow. But then we sold some bigger stuff. We sold, I might have mentioned it in another video, Battle for Endor. We also sold these two. This isn't Ultimate Batmobile. It's just one of the Lego Movie Batman Batmobiles. This was already boxed up. I had already done it. Felt really good just pulling it off the shelf. I'll add packing material and stuff, but really, really nice. I don't have to do that. It saved me about, 10 minutes to 15 minutes just to do that stuff. And then this is the incomplete set. It's just these two Porsches from a pretty high-end set. So that was rad. And then that is the Battle for Endor. And then we sold some other stuff. We got Bionicle just keeps chipping away. That bucket's getting smaller and smaller. Looks like, is this Indiana Jones? No, it's Lone Ranger. Nope, Indiana Jones. I'm wrong. Indiana Jones figs. CMFs have been rolling. This hiker guy never stays in stock when I have him. Need to make sure he has his compass. Yeah. Okay. The hiker guy never stays in stock. We got Bart. He lasted about a week. Same with both these. These are all brand new ads that came in and went out. Reyes, man, $57, mint, like super, super good condition. I got really lucky and have had like 3 or 4 of him all in pristine condition. And this is the last one. I do have another sail barge though that I'll be adding. So at least we'll have that fig. But yeah, some higher end stuff, right? 65 for Gree. And then sick Astromechs going out. Normal and Star Wars stuff, some parts, not anything really crazy, just basic stuff. But yeah, this was $911. Pretty nuts. Yeah, it's been a lot of, my wife and I have been talking a lot about how we want to organize the space. There's a lot of complexities in it, and there's needs for the garage. We still want to be able to park a car in here because it is Texas, it does hail. But we don't really know. I still need to respect that, but at the same time need to figure out a place to get more space because the boxes on the shelves are not looking great. The figs on those display stands look incredible, but I'm just not loving it right now, so I've got to put in some time. I'm not loving how much space they take up. I think it's 3.5 bookcases, almost 4 full bookcases when you're of space. And for perspective, I have 4, probably like there's half ones in here, that's why I'm not counting it linearly. Like 8, 9, 10, 11 total, and so 4 of them would go just to mini figs, which isn't a big deal, but it just doesn't feel like it's in line with our current move, which is we need more space. So I don't know. The boxing up of stuff has gone incredibly well. It's fast, it's efficient. Finding this stuff is really good. It's quick to box a bunch of stuff up at once. And so after I add items to inventory, I'll more than likely end up boxing them up and putting them to the side. It's just making this space still look good with that stuff like that. is an issue. And then finding the balance between having a bunch of cardboard boxes and then still making the space feel joyful and happy when you walk out here has been more challenging than I had anticipated. Um, I know that I'll come up with the solution and love it in the end, but it's been a lot of like far off deviations from where we have, trying to figure out like, okay, like if we did a false wall in a certain area, what would that look like? What are your sight lines like? How much space do we gain from it? How cramped does it feel? Like all of that stuff. Luckily, we have a lot of the pieces we need in order to do this, right? We've got all the bookshelves and extra storage, and I'm like right here, so I can measure a lot of this stuff. But as far as efficiency goes, there's been a lot of circling away from what we're currently doing and then coming back to it because it is just a much more efficient way of doing some of these things, right? Like that center island with the minifigures on it is equivalent to, like I said, like 3.5 bookshelves. And it's like trying to squeeze another 3.5 bookshelves in here is incredibly difficult. Like, I don't know how we wouldn't be able to do it without freestanding bookcases or freestanding storage in the center of the room. And so that's where we kind of came back to. I'm not sure if the minifig island is great, but it's like kind of inefficient in that it takes up about half of the center of the garage, where there's still a lot more space. And so I kind of want to figure out how to extend the table cost effectively while making it look good so that I can fit 3 of the minifigure display stands wide, because that would give us a lot more storage and breathing room for putting them in their own categories and stuff. So like Star Wars villains can all go in one and it won't feel like crammed or anything. So it's kind of my thought process. It's expensive to do. Those display stands are about $100 each, and then they're ultra time consuming. You could tell in the previous video how much I like putting those together, and the idea of adding on 4 more and additional to the 5 that I've already ordered is kind of insane. The thing that I do like is how rigid they are, though. Like I can lift up a whole quarter of that table's minifigs, or like that one of those grandstands, and you do not feel like anything is going to fall off. Probably a little overconfident at this time, moving the stuff around, but yeah, they're very, very, very good. They're very efficient for what they're doing. They look good. Picking from it is incredible. I had like 6 figs. Didn't take me very long at all because you're looking straight on at the stuff, whereas before it was looking down. And so that was just a little bit more difficult. But yeah, just a lot of stuff in the works. It'll be fun. I'm just kind of commiserating and not committing to what I want. I need to make sure that all of the goals are being met when we're doing this, because I think there's like a lot of solutions that fix one of the things, but there's not a solution so far that's fixed everything. And a big part of that is now trying to figure out where we're willing to make the concessions. So yeah. It's always an ongoing battle, but we'll see. What else? I think that's pretty much it for now. I don't want to show off the space too much because it's just messy. But today is going to be cleaning all the stuff on the outskirts. The reason it's so messy in here, by the way, is because we've been moving the center island table around, and underneath that thing in the center of it, on top of being able to house 3.5 bookcases worth of stuff, underneath it, I can fit every bin that I have. That now, after we sold, 700 pounds of bulk, is a lot of bins. And it just slides right under there, and it sits in the center area between. So that's pretty awesome. But when I'm moving around, trying new spots and stuff for this, it's just a wreck. So yeah, I'm going to get these packed up, shipped out. I'm going to get cleaning. And then after that, we're going to start working on the collection in the back. Now that we have some space, since I boxed up a lot of stuff, it should go pretty quick. I'm not sure if I want to just finish off boxing things on the shelves. We'll see. But like kind of my rule of thumb for the shelf stuff that's gotten boxed is small and medium. Larger sets, I'm just not going to tackle. Basically, if I can list on Facebook Marketplace, needing photos and whatnot, then I'm just going to leave it out. We do still have a lot of space, and I still do want a lot of that stuff on display here. It's good in the background. It's not overly cumbersome. And then also I want to make sure that I'm seeing some of this stuff so that I can see how long it's been here so I can make pricing decisions. Like those Porsche cars, they were on the bottom shelf, I think. the the ones that were incomplete or partial. Um and when I went and boxed them up, I repriced. And so I've been doing a lot of repricing on this stuff, pricing it to just go. Making sure it's the lowest price on Bricklink, just because some of the stuff is legacy stuff that we've had forever, and it's like I don't want to sit on it. I don't need to have my shelf. I need space, and so it's like I want to keep selling stuff off. We need money as well, and so those things are lowering the price on a lot of the stuff. But yeah, we've got a pile of incomplete sets that is just piling up now, like things that we would normally sell at the garage sale. We seal them in a bag and then put a price tag on it and sell them out in the front yard. And man, like that stuff's piling up. I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing with it. I would hate to bulk it. It's not complete enough to do on Bricklink, but like as a kid seeing it, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool and super cost effective. And like, I don't know, like as far as play functionality, there's a lot of play functionality still left in a lot of stuff we have. So yeah. All right. We'll check in a little bit, get these orders shipped, and hopefully clean this up enough to show off. Peace. All right, I just wanted to take a second because the table, I talked a little bit about the efficiency of how it stores stuff and like not being able to replicate that. This is why. So this is the center area. So between, you can see my table slipped upside down here. It's because I was changing the feet and the threads were. But what we're talking about here is like we have all these buckets. Those are what I would call fines. A lot of them are just like this is like the second or third place we go to look if we can't find a part. It's not super common. We only come in here if it's like a part that we know is common and it's worth searching for. Maybe once a month we go in there. Before that, we do have a color sorted stuff. I kind of put it up here. I hate color sorted stuff. It's not helpful, but we do get bulk that is color sorted sometimes. And rather than dump it out and stuff, this was like the person had washed it. It was like really good. And so we saved it for just random stuff that we would need to go into. It is a massive waste of space. There's these big voids up here. So this doesn't really fit it very well. And then also, if this thing had just been flush with the tables, I could have potentially used this as an extension to continue to put more minifigure racks on. So I'm hoping with the wheels that I get, there's the possibility of making it flush here, straight across, but I don't think it was that drastic. I think this table's to the max. Let's see. Oh no. Ooh, we might get close. Sorry, it's a rising table. So this is at the top, and I know I got bigger wheels, so this thing might end up being okay. The only issue is I don't think the width is correct. I think it needs to be 48, and I think it's 44. But that's close, man. I might have to look at that and see if I can just try that, because I just wish the space was better utilized. I mean, it's neat and it's colorful or whatever, but just not my favorite. All this stuff gets hidden. That's my favorite part. I did realize today, you can see I have my sunshade out. The sun actually does come through in a weird way, and it hits on the minifigs that are on the other side. Not the ones on the table, the ones in these drawers. So I wasn't really happy about that. Threw the sunshade up. The sunshade works in two ways, or for two purposes. One, if I don't want people looking in, I can put that up, and it takes 2 minutes to do. You can't see in, but I can see out, which is pretty awesome for, I think I bought a sun sail that was the right dimensions, cut it in half, and then just threw it up there. So I think it cost me like $10. So that was pretty awesome. It looks tacky, I think. I don't think it looks super good, but it gets the job done for now. We'll have to see. That's just like, I like the table here a bit. It looks way better when the minifigs are on it, but I don't know. I'll show you guys the final product. I'm sure soon here. But yeah, and again, it needs 4 more grandstands at least, and then it also needs wheels and everything. So did a bit of cleanup. You can see my box dilemma. It looks terrible. The idea, throw all the boxes on the bottom 2 rows and then just do cool stuff up here. I took the Saturn V down, switched it with one of my two dueling shield helicarriers. When I went to pull it apart, I didn't pull the top off first. I pulled the middle off and it shattered to the ground. Fixed that. Took about 5 minutes. But yeah, just as soon as I did it, I was like, why didn't I start on the outside in? Pretty silly. Got everything packed and shipped super early this morning. It did not take me long because all of the crazy box stuff I had boxed already. It's my least favorite thing to do about picking and shipping, and it's now not a problem anymore. And so the box trade-off is massive. It's ugly. I'm going to reprint labels so that it's all uniform, and I think the uniformity will bring a little bit of I don't know, take out a little bit of the sting of how the boxes look, but yeah, pretty nice so far. Still working on cleaning. I did get parts in at my PO box. I got stuff to finish off this guy down here. It looked great. It came out really good. Lord of the Rings set, super good. I don't know what happened. I taped all these and then realized their faces are being blocked by the seal on all of them. So not my best. I put in some extra cash to make sure that these guys were good. There's the bite mark guy. I was originally just going to do a note saying that the cape was bad. Or the cape. Got a new cape. Replaced all the parts, arm, torso, like everything on that guy. It was expensive, but I think it was $60 total for the stuff that I bought for that. But it's an expensive set, and then I'll sell off the parts that are damaged but usable. I flat ironed the cape with a hole in it. And like visually, I don't think it's bad. Like I'll do the note on it and stuff, but like if you had it on a fig, like if I put it on that fig, I don't think anyone would have known, but I would. And I, for a set that's that expensive, like, I don't know. I just don't want people to get something that's not what they expected. And with Lord of the Rings stuff being so high end, like if it was a Superman fig, I would have easily just noted it and sent it or whatever. But like for a $70 fig, I want it to be good and clean. Yeah, that's what it looks like right now. I'm hoping these wheels come today. I'm not sure if they are. I still got more stuff to put away. Still some more things to figure out. I need a better spot for my empty containers. I'm using them a lot. I use those shoebox containers a ton. And just when it's in the right spot, it feels like you know it's in the right spot and that's exactly where it should be. And I just haven't found that spot. Like there's nowhere convenient. It needs to be like a midpoint between the nook and the wall storage because like I use them everywhere. They're just always in the way somehow. And same with my square bins that I use for sorting and stuff. Just never find a good spot. I used to keep them over by Technic, but it blocks the Technic drawers when they're all over there. And so, yeah, I don't know. Got to find a new spot for it. I'll work it into the issues with the stuff that I have now and see if I can problem solve this well enough in order to find a new spot for it to live. I'm just so on the table or on the fence about what to do with the minifigs. Like I love them on the wall. The grandstand thing looks really cool. Either way, like I'm going to continue with that. I just don't know if I want them on the wall. I guess it'll come down to how much storage is left after I remove all these mid and smalls for my walls, because I think there might be more space. I know I complained about 3.5 bookcases or whatever, but I think that there might be more space than I anticipated. Yeah, we'll see. The projector screen that I have is also a bit of an issue, but we'll come to that and get to that when it happens. It could look really cool. 3, 6, 9, 4. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be neat. I'm excited to show it off. I never did a shop tour, and like I'm gonna have to finish this, then get things ultra clean, and then walk through and do a shop tour because there's so much about this space. There's so much about the things that we use, the reason why everything is the way that it is, that I think people would find interesting. And then kind of doubles as the introduction into who we are. I want to talk a little bit about where I've come from, with the product management. I always want to say product management background that I have, um, and you know how that journey took me here and how it's translated. Because man, 2 years ago, no experience in anything retail, online selling, any of that stuff. I don't even think it's been 2 years. I think in yeah, it hasn't even been that long. But no experience in it, and it's amazing the things that you can do when it's like almost adrenaline based. Like if I'm not out doing and working toward this goal, um, I feel like we're not going to be able to live. And so the way that that's fueled me has changed so much, and I'm still being able to keep this as something that I love to do and find super interesting and get excited to do and all that. But just how that I don't know how that's changed over time has been interesting. Uh, yeah. Well, sweet. We'll check in soon. I wanted to give an update, show you what it looks like. God, I'm hoping that I can get this in a good spot. We're back. It's Tuesday. It's almost 10 o'clock. I spent the entire day yesterday doing projects and cleaning. Like I said I would. Let's take a look. Look at this. Big, long countertop with not much stuff on it. Makes my heart happy. Still got a pile of a collection that I'm working on. I haven't added anything to inventory. There was a little bit of an issue with Bricker. Reached out to them. They got it resolved. So now parts adding is back on the menu. Back table is cleared off. That's a little case for my camera. This table, I need to figure out this area right here. I'm always putting stuff there. I might need to move the stream deck somewhere else. I own a Steam Deck. And so like I always want to call the stream deck and Steam Deck the wrong things. Let's take a look at the shelves. The shelves are looking a little barren. That's because we finally got the box stuff put away. So again, a lot of sets are gone. We boxed them up. Check out the corner. Go around. Well hidden. So many sets in here. So much space. There's also some behind here. Awesome system. Easy to see. Easy to price. Like all that stuff. Fantastic. These sets here. The set is too big for the box, and I don't have the right size box. So a lot of these sets I can break down a little bit more, but for architecture stuff, the base plate on it is very large. And so you're breaking down too much stuff. And there's this one TIE fighter. It you can't take anything off from the side without disassembling it, which is insane. Most of the time, like I'd say 80% of the TIE fighters out there, you can pop off both of the wings. Just wasn't the case. You can see there's the under table storage. My table's flipped upside down because I've got wheels that are supposed to come. Yesterday, I added new wheels to these carts. I cannot tell you how big of a difference that makes. They were an absolute pain to move. The wheels, like 3 of them would be going one direction and the other was always fighting it. The wheels were just too small of a diameter, and the reason they were that small was so that they could tuck under the table. Now that we're getting bigger wheels for the table, I sized up, and so those can slide under super easy. There's this thing. I took a Billy bookcase shelf, and I bought these feet off of Amazon. I just put this here temporarily just because the table is flipped upside down. This is the exact height it needs to be to sit behind this. So now I have my 2-tier system. I'm just going to repurpose, I think, the bookcase shelves for now so that but in the future I may buy something else. There is a gap in the back. I don't know if you can tell. There's a gap back here. But it's a cheap solution. I think those feet were maybe $20. Maybe. I don't even think so. I think it's 15 for a pair. I bought 4 pairs. But now our grandstand will fit perfect. And then I also got this stuff called, I think it's like cat's paw or something. It's anti-slip, and like it's hard to move. And so my fear was that somebody at one point would bump into the table or catch their arm or shoulder on one of those things, knock it over, and that would be a massive pain to do, to fix. And so not having them be able to slide is pretty awesome. Trying to think of what else. I also got I got an acrylic case. I reached out to the support for the people that I had bought my Cloud City acrylic case from. Um, because I was super disappointed. Like, there's no way it would have worked on the new and box sealed one that I had. Because I believe when they laser cut the acrylic, the tolerance wasn't tight enough. So what would happen, like, it would just come apart. Like, it was built correctly and everything, but like it would not stay together. I used acrylic glue on it to try and get it to where I wanted to go, and the bloom was nuts. It doesn't look good. And so I ended up like taping and gluing the one that I had bought. Reached out to support for the people that had sent it to me. They said that they would increase the tolerance, or decrease the tolerance to make it a tighter fit. And they sent me a brand new one. So I have my Cloud City that's opened with the box inside the old one, the one that I had to glue and tape. Just because I wasn't confident, I didn't know how corrosive potentially the glue could be. And so like I didn't want to put the new inbox one in there. Shout out to their support. They sent me a brand new one. They were like, "Hey, no problem. We got you." So I assembled that yesterday. Fit perfect. I have the new inbox Cloud City in there. It's tucked away inside right now. I'm going to do another video at some point on like all three of them, just kind of show them off and tell the stories behind each one. Yeah, it's still insane that we have three right now. I don't know that we've had three of any set like from that era. Like, it's been pretty miraculous that we came across three in such a short period of time. Um, what other projects did I work on? I think that's pretty much it. Just cleaning took a long time. Oh, there was this part. So the shelves. This used to be, and you can see like in the floor, there's not a shelf that goes across. Like, there's the bottom support. There's not one here. That was so I could get a rolling chair under there, because that used to be like my workbench, work desk area before we had the Nook. So we haven't been using like that. The shelf was actually really high up so that like I could use it kind of like a desk drawer. It wasn't serving a good purpose. So what I did is I dropped the shelf, which is kind of a pain to do because you're in tight quarters and everything's like really locked in there. But it went, we got it. And so now it's just like a line, straight across. And then that's where I decided to put all the bins that I was complaining about. I need a place to be able to dump them off, but I also need them to be out of the way. And so that's where we ended up with that. And then also the trash can feels really good under there. There's like a trash can there, trash can there, trash can there, and then another trash can behind there. And then right by my printer, there's a trash can that Velcros onto the desk. Cannot tell you how much trash there is that you're dealing with in Lego when you're doing this stuff. Going through bulk, there's trash. Doing anything with minifigs, there's trash. Like, always trash. Like, it's pretty wild. Second only to like a bulk bin. Like having a bin to put bulk stuff in. Back behind the Nook, I have a little drawer thing that I put bulk in, and then I dump that every once in a while. But yeah, everything looks really good. I'm really happy to see the counters cleared. These are the extra wheels I need to return. But yeah, it feels really good. Oh, and I organized all my boxes. So like when I was going through and boxing all that stuff, I realized that I was not very, like, I was just digging a lot for boxes, and I was like, all right, let's just go through, pull them all out. Took out used boxes. Really early on, we were like reusing Amazon boxes. We're still doing it. Like, you can see the boxes that I have on the wall. There's some Amazon ones in there. I don't want to do that anymore. So I got rid of all my Amazon boxes. Trying to be a little bit green with stuff, in order to, save money and then also reuse this stuff and give it a second life. I just don't think it comes off as very professional when somebody receives an Amazon box or whatever. I'm not sure if it matters. We'll end up finding out, but it also helps me to not gather boxes. I don't do well when I'm wishy-washy about where something goes. Like, if I get a box, I'm like, oh, I could use that box, but the space is tight in the Nook or behind the Nook that we keep boxes. then it's like, oh, well, it'll just go in that area, and then it ends up adding up, and then you end up having problems. So the more definitive that I can be in where things go, the more clean I stay. And so it's just something that I need to keep in mind. Because yeah, I just don't want a bunch of clutter. I mean, this whole thing, the whole job is managing clutter, but there's just ways to do it. And then also it speeds up finding and searching for boxes because I know I only have a couple of sizes. Um, and so again, make sure that you're stocking as many of the box sizes as you can that you use. What becomes problematic is the boxes I use the most, I most of the time don't realize I'm out until I've used my last one. And then I have no recollection of what box it was that I had burned out of. And so oftentimes I'll find myself being like, man, I just don't have anything that fits this size. And then have to go research what size it is that I need and then buy them. So maybe in pirate ship there's stats based off of what you've shipped and sent and stuff, because there's size allocations and whatnot. But yeah, wish there was some way to track that a little bit better and be like, this is your most commonly used box. I know what it is for tiny items. Like I use a 1x6x4 box a lot. I use like a lot, which are these. Like if your order's over like $30 or whatever, it's definitely going in here. And then if it's even higher than that, then I have a 1x6x2. So give it a little bit more breathing room, giving it some more padding. Orders under about $30, I'll send in padded mailers. I'll double pad it. So like I have a padded insert that I put it in before I put it in the padded mailer. I've sent, God, 400, never had a problem. So yeah. So that's good. I do have the additional grandstands are coming probably sometime this week. I'm excited to add some parts. It's been quite a while. I think I'm going to focus on that today, adding parts and adding those sets, the new ones. We've got company visiting, and so like the back room is just trash bags on the floor with Lego sets in them, and there's almost 100 of them. And so I think we're gonna go through that. I might do a little time lapse today. Before this video, I was spending time deleting stuff because it said I had like 10 minutes left of space. So I have enough time or enough space to do a time lapse. So I think we're gonna work on that. There really weren't a lot of sales yesterday. It was about $70 maybe, which isn't great. What day of the month is it? Yeah, seems odd. But we have not been adding new stuff. So you got to give people a reason to spend and to buy with you. And we need to make sure that we're continuing to do that. It was just, we've had projects, we've had everything going on at once. So just want to get back to adding some parts. It makes me feel a little bit more at ease. And then I had a call with a guy that has a massive collections about 2 hours north of here. Huge collection, but I don't know if we're going to come together on a price just because the total amount that we'd have to pay for it would be pretty nuts. And we talk about not buying everything, just buying the right thing. And I don't know if our margins would be thick enough on it, to be honest. And then the amount of money that we would tie up would pretty much knock us out from buying anything else for the entire year. And that's just something that you have to take into consideration. Like there's an opportunity cost to not being able to buy stuff anymore. And that part's hard. And so I'm going to go through and I'm going to give him as much info as I can. We're not always going to be the person that buys your collection, but after a conversation with us, you're going to have a lot more info and know what you want to do. You know, it's just hard. Like he has some new inbox stuff. He has everything. His new inbox, he has built stuff. He has disassembled stuff, and then he has disassembled mixed stuff, which is like awful for us because I really don't like untying that stuff. When somebody just throws a bunch of sets inside of a bin, time wise, it's just almost never worth it unless it's high value stuff. And then even then, like you're going through and you're inventorying. The way it would work is we'd go through and we'd inventory those sets, right? But what's happening is you're inventorying against 4 other sets that are potentially in that bin. And so you've increased the total parts that you are looking through every time you're searching for a part. And so it just adds this exponential time increase. Not exponential, it's linear. But it just sucks. because those parts aren't even going into anything and you're just going through it and whatnot. The nice part about inventorying sets is like as you're getting further along, you're looking at less and less parts, which means you're going faster. And so the start of any new color is pretty time consuming, but like as you're going toward the end, you're cruising pretty good because you're just spending a little bit less time searching. I do a sort when I do it, but it's a rough sort when I'm inventorying a set. It's generally size based, so I want to remove stuff that's bigger first, and so I'll sort like big plates and things like that are just chunky that can hide other stuff. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going through and I will also do like if I'm searching for something, I'm also sorting. So, if I'm looking for a bunch of 1x2s, then I'm grabbing everything else that kind of looks like that and setting it off to the side. So a 1x3 or anything. That way you're starting to do the sort, you're not wasting time, you're not wasting movement while you're going through, and it's definitely helpful. Um, we're definitely not the most efficient when it comes to it, but we're pretty good about it or good at it now. I don't know how many sets we've done. We've done a ton of UCS sets which are like painful. Just because you're you're just working in gray a lot of the time. And so like going through all that and there's like just the two grays. And so yeah, like I've inventoried two super star destroyers, two star destroyers, three star destroyers. Now that I think about it, I did one super early on. Two Death Stars. Yeah, just countless others. A Razor Crest. Yeah, just takes forever because your light gray bin, your light bluish gray bin is just massive. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think it's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna just try and add some parts today. I'm really happy with how things are going. I got kind of tied up at one point trying to figure everything out. The table orientation is not the way I'm gonna keep it. I feel like I'm close to the solution, just not there yet. So I'm gonna keep moving things around, but I put that stuff on pause until I get the new wheels because it's just everything is a pain to move with their current wheel configuration. But yeah, anyway, for that other collection, I'm really hoping that something can be done. Like I think I was talking about how he has new inbox and stuff, and I recommended to him and to anyone. If you have new inbox, try and sell it on marketplace first. You're gonna get way more than anything, like than taking it to a local BAM or even to me. The reason for that is that we're battling. So on top of being able to pay a percentage, or like if we're able to pay a percentage and the stuff is new current stuff, we're also battling if a retailer puts it on sale or if it doesn't sell well. And so as soon as it like goes on, so the way that I look at it is like you got your 100% price, right? It's 100% MSRP. It's not uncommon for a retailer to drop it 20%, right? And so like that's kind of the top, that's our true top end. Like 100% for us is actually 80% of what the value would be in order to account for that. Then if we're going to make anything on it, 20% minimum, right? So that's now we're offering 60%. And that's 60% for like good inventory, good Star Wars stuff, whatever. It's just not very lucrative for the person that's looking to sell that thing, right? We can trade at a higher value, but I just don't do very many trades because I don't have a lot of people coming into the space. And anything, I don't want to have trade credit for someone. So anything that someone brings in, they have to spend in order to go out. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just really realistically the difficulty of it. And then there's also you have to house it, ship it, all that stuff. And so making 40 to even 50% on a boxed item, it's okay if we're able to do that. But realistically, I think our total net on it will be 20% if we pay 50%. So yeah, and that's just money that I'd rather tie up into used because the margins are bigger and all that stuff. So so I think I'll make an offer on everything at some point once we figure everything out. But always recommend, and like if you're selling new in box, just try and sell it on Facebook Marketplace first. You'll end up recouping or getting a lot more than you'd be able to get from anywhere else. It's always like I have a canned response for it to be like, oh, cool, yeah, thanks for sending that. We're interested, but I'd recommend, selling on Facebook Marketplace first. Just because it's like, hey, they just went and paid $300 for this set, and we're only able to offer them, 150 or $160 for it. It's just pretty jarring. Um, Lastly, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else. I think I'm just gonna work on inventorying getting the new items out. I'll carve out a space, I think, in the shelves and then put them up there and then do another video in a little bit. But yeah, sweet. We'll check in soon. All right, yo, I want to show this off real quick. This is how we clean our sets. Unused makeup brush. Don't use a used makeup brush. Gross. Blower. This is getting crazy loud. These blowers are not quiet. I always do this stuff outside. You don't want to be blowing dust around and adding dust to your environment if you can avoid it. And then also it's kind of gross because it's not my dust, it's other people's dust. So even weirder. Probably should be wearing a mask, not doing it now. Obviously for this setup, behind me is the garage, so I want to blow away. It could probably be better. Like I did blow off the driveway. I haven't ever like blown a part off and then not been able to find it or whatnot. But could happen, so it's probably not the best move. This thing's looking pretty thick. This is the first set from this lot that I'm gonna blow off. And see how it cleans up. Sometimes with these, you need soap and water, and so I'm hoping I don't have to do that for every set, but we're gonna check it out. It doesn't generally need soap and water when the dust feels gritty or it feels even tacky. If it's not feeling like that, you don't need to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna blow this on off and we're gonna take a look. Try and speed this up. Right, it looks pretty good. Let's see. Back looks pretty good too. Definitely gonna hit it again. With a set like this, like all the surfaces that had been vertical are gonna be just chunked in dust. So you may not see it, but like the studs on the side, like you at least want to make sure that you're hitting the top of them, just because there's dust on there. It's cake. And then even on these negative studs, sometimes it can get pretty nuts depending on the angle that the thing was sitting at. So once over, I'm not sure. I might come back and hit the top center of this where it looks like it's a little bit grimier with some soap and water. But yeah, it's pretty simple. The blower is really just to make sure the dust gets projected off and you're not just moving around or sucking it in. And it also helps remove extra dust. I had hoped that my time lapse that I just did would be like me reassembling those sets, but the sets actually went really fast because they weren't really disassembled. Like none of them had like fallen apart super bad. So it was just me taking them out of the bags and then bringing them out here to test them. But yeah, it's just another reason why that bag thing works. Bag it, make sure that it's tied off. If the whole set falls apart, like it's not. Like I can put it back together fast. I think there's only like 3 or 4 parts that had fallen off. It's a bulbous pod racer. There are 2 black parts to it that I just didn't recognize, so I'm definitely gonna have to pull up the manual. I'll go through, do manual checks, like check the manual, not like manual labor. But go through and do manual checks to verify completeness. And then after that, add it to inventory. Then after that, bag it and box it, or just put it on the shelf. I'm just gonna put it on the shelf because I want to get through and add a bunch of inventory. But the stuff should go pretty fast. Honestly, there's a lot of time just spent walking back and forth, bringing sets out, dusting them off, and whatnot. I think I might try and get some bins set up so that I can bring out multiple sets at once and then have a bin for stuff that's just done. But it's not glamorous, it's not pretty, but this is just how it works. Happy to be showing that off. If I have to wash some of these down, I might show that. I don't really know. It's kind of weird. But yeah, it's just weird because like this site gets it just gets wet and stuff as you're doing it. And then I blow dry them and then there's still a little bit of water in it and stuff. So we have to make sure that it sits for quite a while drying before we're able to sell it. Sweet. Yeah, that's simple. It's easy. It's not rocket science, but it's effective. All right, checking soon. All right, y'all. It's 2 p.m. Wanted to give a quick update. Um, it's still Tuesday. Uh, it's gotten warmer. Hoodie came off. I got the wheels in for the table. I'm gonna show it to you. Looks fantastic. Everything's higher. Everything rolls way better. They're poking out a little bit. They can be spun around in order to not protrude like that. Locks on all of them. Blend in a little bit better than the others, so that's good. Put the rolling cabinets up. Um, the table does come like flat even to here if I want. It's just too high. Like when it's way up there, you can't see any prices on any figs. This is what I wanted to show off. Here's the grandstand. Looks pretty good. I'm not sure how noisy it's going to be when there's other ones on the back of it. So that'll have to be something that I keep in mind. Sets are rolling. These have all been, a lot of them have needed to be like washed or soap and water. Not like fully washed, but like they come out pristine, like you would never know, but it's just like a lot more work. It was the blacks that got me. Um, Black shows everything, and so luckily the first set I did was black, so it gave me a good idea of how dirty it was going to be. Went back, redid the shuttle, and then I've done everything with soap and water so far. But like this thing caked with dust. I mean, pristine, like shiny, pristine. Vader's Castle, it's still a little wet, drying. Um, Kylo's, that was the one that you guys had seen. 2 X-Wings got done. We got Yoda, the shuttle. We got the space shuttle up there. Trying to think of what else. A couple of things weren't complete. Kylo's ship is missing all its figs. I know they're in a bag because I remember putting them in when we were packing up. So Bulba's missing Anakin. And then the space shuttle is missing the satellite that goes inside of it. So none of those have been entered yet. I'll see what the value is, or the total is so far on just the stuff that I've entered. Couple Build-A-Figs. The Ray, not Ray. What is her name? I don't know. There's a one lady that doesn't sell at all. We got her, and then we got a Kylo. So total on the lot right now, selling price is $1,000. Still a lot to go. There were some city sets that I found that were bags, fully disassembled, that I looked up, and it's like $12, and I'm like, this isn't worth my time to assemble or inventory it. I think I'm just gonna pull out figs and then sell or like give away the brick. And what else? Anything else? I think that's it. I'm gonna flip over this other table, swap out the wheels, keep rolling on some sets. It's a beautiful day out here. Mosquitoes haven't come out yet in Austin, or at least where we're at. So like that's pretty incredible. It makes a big difference. Like combination of like the ultra crazy heat plus mosquitoes just makes you never want to go outside. Makes it feel like an eternal winter. But yeah, so it's beautiful. Winds a little breezy. Feels nice. Got the music going and stuff, and so yeah, I think that's the update for now. I'll see what I can finish up by the end. Well, I just did something stupid. I dropped the wheel while I was working on the table, and it took a massive chip out of the table. And I was like, oh, don't worry, it's probably the back. It's not, it's the front. I'm gonna try and film myself CA gluing this and see what happens. Wood glue is what I would normally use, but I have CA glue and an activator. See if it works first. Let's give it a try. All right, well, I did it. It's okay. Let's take a look. Hard to see, so that's good. I sanded it a little bit, and then I'd taken off some of the finish when I sanded it, so I reapplied super glue to give it that shiny texture. And like, I'm not sure that you can see it unless I pointed it out to you. It's not the best work. There's a little divot here, but now I'm not going to be thinking about it every time I look at it, and so that's a plus. All right, wheels are all on the table. I would say that went okay, but if you were to ask me how much super glue I had on my hands, I would say yes. Man, I did want to show off this real quick. Triple stacked looks pretty good. It feels really nice walking up to it. I did order 5 more so I can do 3 rows of it. If I can get the sets pared down enough to put over there, I'm gonna keep this figs over here daily. We'll still be able to move them over to the tables when we're working or when we're having a sale. And then during the week, it'll just be clean, fresh tabletop all through here. And I mean, these tables are awesome. Like we've been using them forever. They look really nice. They look more put together than anything else we use. So might go with that. You can see I moved the minifigs over there temporarily. It's I'm ready to get rid of these really bad. Again, I think I said it in another video. If anyone knows, I mean, it'll be a while before this hits. If anyone knows anyone that wants those displays, please reach out to me. I'm in Austin, Texas, obviously. Come by, pick them up. You can have them. Sweet. I'm going to put this back. I kind of want to do a little bit more rearranging, see what's what. It's starting to heat up again here. I don't know if you can see the sweat on that bald head. It's more glare. But yeah, really happy with how it looks with the tables cleared and all the stuff put in position. Just a little bit more reconfiguring to go. Good morning, guys. It's Wednesday, April 8th. It's about 8:40. Just finished packing orders or picking orders. Still need to pack them. Just a lot of progress yesterday on the sets that needed to be cleaned. Those are going really, really, really well. They're very, very complete. So like that feels nice. I don't have to be worrying as much about completeness. Still doing a check on everything, but it feels good. Here's what we sold yesterday. This is Monday or what, Monday and Tuesday. So Monday and Tuesday sales, clones, nothing crazy. Lightsaber lot is awesome to see. New CMF, torso. These things sell for us pretty well. The little jaw visor things. Pretty awesome. The total was $160 for what we sold yesterday. Nothing groundbreaking, but still awesome to see stuff rolling consistently. I love getting those notifications on my phone. Yeah, it brings a sense of security and like purpose in that like next morning I'm gonna have something to do and work on and get done. Table looks pretty good. I love these tabletops, man. Like I haven't seen them in a long time because they had a drape over them, and then the minifigures like display thing was sitting on it. But I think I've decided that I'm going to put all the minifigs over on that side. We're gonna go 3, 6, 9, and then I'm gonna go 4 wheelie cabinets. I might just push them right across the front center there, hiding everything at the bottom, which is okay because, you know, if I'm looking for a set, it's not going to be hard to find. There's only 4 spots to look. I may also start labeling each of these individual zones, or it'd be better to do the shelf because the shelves can move. And then it can tell me like shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Tell me exactly where to go. So that'll be good. Want to get that done. But today is just more sets, getting them all done. They need to dry off a little bit, and so they're going to sit out for probably a week before I box them up. So yeah, pretty rad. Nice to have new stuff in here. Trying to think if there was anything else. I think that's it. Yeah, just more of the same. If anything comes up, I'll check in. All right, y'all. I want to do a little before and after. I'm gonna clean up one of these, one of like a really dirty set, using our method, which is soap and water, and then blow drying it, not with a blow dryer, but with just regular air. This one's pretty nuts. Like this is probably one of the grossest ones in here. I don't know if you can see this, thick with dust. Like you can barely see through the cockpit. Pretty nuts. I just did the Mustang right here. This one was very bad to the point where I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna like. I don't know how it's gonna come out. I almost did the comparison with this one, but I was like, no, it might not come out very good. It came out amazing. It looks super good. Bad sticker. Oh, it's not even a sticker. It's printed. What? Look how far off that is. Lame. Oh, maybe this one is supposed to go in a different spot because this one's off too. So maybe I can swap these. Let me see. Could just be that these, oh, they go to one side. So that's interesting. So like if you put it on, let me see if I can catch it on here. Check that out. See how out of sync that is? But they're not printed dead center. There's a side to it. So if you flip it around, dead center. Look at that. All better. Yeah, let me do this real quick and then I'll show you the after and then yeah, I'll show you the rest of the stuff that's gotten done. All right, and then this is it done. Let me turn it around. Sparkling, super good. Looks awesome. Yeah. Maybe 3 minutes that took, or maybe 4. Super fast. This one's easy because it's got kind of like a good shape to it. So that when you're blowing the air off, it just rolls right out. But yeah, and then I also, since they did get a little wet, I'll leave them out for a couple of days just to make sure that they dry completely. But like it goes from something that you would never sell to something that is just looks great. Don't ever shy away from dust. I think of like when I've when I've seen super dusty valuable sets, after I clean them, they look better than if they hadn't been super dusty. Like I don't know what it is, like almost a protective layer. I've watched Toy Federation videos and they've kind of said the same thing, where yeah, like embrace the dust, like it'll clean up. It doesn't permanently do any damage. It's amazing. So yeah, it's gross. Do it outside. But yeah, ours is soap water. We use a makeup brush. It's really like a bigger makeup brush with soap on it and water. It's almost like an old timey barber is like getting shaving cream on. We just really cake it on there and just wicks all the dust off and after you blow it and stuff. So the blowing is much like a car wash at the end where they're blowing the water off and stuff. Super effective, super fast. Highly recommend. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. and we're ready to start another day. It is Thursday. Man, got a lot of sets done yesterday. I thought I got all the Star Wars stuff done, but there's still Build-A-Figs and then some one-off stuff. Like I have a Millennium Falcon I had placed in a bag on the desk and not seen, so got to get that one done. But let's show you what we got. Everything has been washed, cleaned, dried, bagged. So like there's a Razor Crest, there's all the figs and extra accessories for it. Price is in there. So when I go to box it, if I need to box it, put it on a shelf, I can take the price tag out, slap it on the outside of the box, seal them up, and then put them away. Everything still gets a little damp, so try and leave it out for a little while. There is only one thing missing out of that entire lot, and it was an Admiral Akbar for this A-Wing. I have one. I was hoping to come across it, so I kind of put this as a placeholder to remind me. This is one that I already had in inventory. Couldn't believe it. I mean, like Akbar is probably like I could see somebody's kid like walking with it or like getting it and taking it off of a shelf and keeping it or something. So it's like a $15 to $16 figure. I can't remember what it had on it. Not too bad considering we did so many sets. I don't know what the total was. So we did everything on this table. Let's go over here. Jack, NASA, Grogu. There's another one of these that I need to do. Everything's kind of interwoven. All of these. There were some sets where the figs were worth more than the set. So I ended up, do I have a price tag on this one? I don't have one. I ended up taking the figs out. So there's still more stuff to add because I stripped sets of their figs and need to add those to inventory. Taniv was already done. ATAT, I think. Yes, ATTE. Sorry, I'm not super up on prequel stuff. ATST, Y-Wing, Dark Falcon was already here. This thing's sick. Pre-Vizsla's fighter with an excellent Pre-Vizsla for his like super good cape and everything. All parts. Pretty dope. Vader's Castle, just tons of great stuff. Like the more I look here, I'm like, oh, there's even more. We did, I think it was like close to 80. All the stuff in here. James Bond car, sick Mustang that cleaned up really well. Weird Technic truck I've never seen. That was somehow worth $40. Pretty odd. And then I think we got another one of these too that I cleaned up. So a lot of stuff. And then let's see what's left. There's the Falcon I was talking about. Need to get that done. Build the figs. Are some, what are these? Speed Champions. And then a couple of, what's in the back? A couple of Lone Ranger sets to inventory. Those are broken down. So I think I'm going to just inventory them and get those going. And then try to think if there's anything else. That's pretty much it. I think that's it for that whole collection. It came in a lot higher than I had anticipated. Just because there was like tons of CMFs. Oh, and there's also extras. So like everything over on this table is extra. Like, so this was the set that was in bulk. This was all pulled out of bulk. I decided not to continue with it and just sell off the figs. This is missing stuff. It doesn't have the Iron Man, and then we also don't have like this blue thing in the bottom left corner. The two sets go together. I don't really know how to list it on Bricklink, which is kind of disappointing because like this seed's in the back, even though they're two separate sets. Kind of weird, but it's missing parts. It doesn't have, like I said, Iron Man and Thor are missing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. This is the type of stuff that can stump me sometimes, and I have to either just cut my losses or do something. What I like to do is just bag it up, and then we would sell it at a garage sale for like a super significant discount, be like $20 or $15 for both ships, and then sell the figs and finish off the gauntlet, sell the gauntlet. They were sets that I had taken the figs out of because the figs I could get more for the figs than I could the entire set. Because the set would just be sitting there in Bricklink forever. Yeah, so like some weird stuff. Bad Batch is another one of those. Bad Batch also, I like having the Bad Batch figs in stock because they sell so well and they're like good high-end figs. And then this was random stuff. There's some good random CMFs in here, and then other figs that were stripped from sets and stuff. There was like this was Jabba's Palace from Book of Boba Fett. Yep. And then I also got a light kit. I don't think I'm gonna actually use it. It looked kind of weird. I think I'm gonna try and find a better one. I want a light kit to light the shelves over here for the minifigs because it's a little dark in there. You can see right now. Like you can see that left one is really bright because there's a light right there on the underside of the railing. But I'm gonna install light kits all around here. So that'll be cool. It'll make it look really, really nice, I think. Add some more ambiance to the space. And I think I'm gonna go not with a bright white. I think I'm gonna go with a more golden, lower temp, more warm. But yeah, man, that's it. It's almost done. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day doing that stuff. The mosquitoes are starting to come out, which sucks. And on top of that, we got a birthday present for my son. We're replacing his bed, and the delivery guy left it in the driveway when I was working. I was like, I should bring that in. Did something to my back right away. So yeah, moving kind of gingerly today, hoping it doesn't linger. Because we have some yard stuff that we're trying to get done. So, man, it all just stacks up sometimes. But the last 2 days have been fun, man. Like just throwing on music, got the door open, the weather's nice. Like chatted with some friends while I was cleaning stuff. Like, yeah, it's important. It's like I think I need to remember how awesome this is at times because it's just me enjoying it by myself a lot of the time, and so like. When you really step back, it's like beautiful day. You're in your house. You're playing with toys. Like you're making some money. You can listen to some tunes. You can talk to your friends. And so like, God, there's nothing better than that, man. It just felt so good. Like, yeah, I'm proud, happy. Yeah. All right, man. That's it for today. I think it's going to be, I kind of want to get out in the yard and do some yard work, but with the back aching like it is and being old, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I should push it. My wife would be like, "Don't push it. Just wait another day." But it's supposed to dump tomorrow. It's supposed to rain so crazy. Um, I guess there's no rush for any of this stuff, but I always feel an internal clock and pressure to get this stuff done. I got 2% left on this camera, so I'm gonna call it. Anything interesting happens, I'll check back in. I'm still working some deals with some other collections. A guy with an absolutely massive collection. He and I have been chatting. He's about 2 hours out, and like so big that he said showed me like 10% of his collection, and I think we're just gonna end up having to buy it in chunks and stuff. Have him either drive down or something in chunks and kind of go from there. But yeah, always good to get good inventory. I don't know what the rate on it is going to end up being. I'm a little scared of tying money up and stuff that the percentage is too high, but we'll see if we can negotiate that down a little bit. Because my real thing is like I want to buy a lot of stuff from him, and so like that rate gets kind of reduced over the size. Because he could have $30,000 to $40,000 worth of stuff, and paying 30% of that is just not, or not 30%, but 40% of that just not happening. And so, what I like to do is get an estimate for the collection, and then negotiate a price. That way, we're fixated on that instead. So cool. I see 1%. We're out of here. All right, have a good one. Let's see if I can get this in. I've got the camera plugged into the wall, so I'm like having to hover. Sales for yesterday, really, really bad in the morning. Like I think we had made $40. Made the comment to my wife, things had slowed down quite a bit. Keep in mind all the stuff I've been working on, it's not going to go live until everything's ready. Just that's the nature of Bricker. Unfortunately, I wish I could upload it in chunks and then still have it be tethered and then still average out the price at the end, but that's just not how it works. Or average out the paid price in the end. It's just not how it works. Sales yesterday were $339 over 7 orders. So it picked up. It picked up real good. There was one big thing. Oh, it was the medieval blacksmith shop we sold last night, and I think we've had it for a year. We've had it for so long. It's become a fixture in here. And so when I showed it to my wife on the couch that we had sold it, she was like, "Whoa, no way." Yeah, pretty funny. Some of the stuff is just like it becomes a fixture almost. It's been with us for so long, and then it just sells. And that's an important thing to know is like everything sells eventually. Like eventually the market will catch up to your price if it's high, and then it'll sell. You might just have to sit on it for a long time. I have a lot of new inbox stuff that like I know what's going to happen to it. Is like I have it listed at like a below retail price, but the market needs to catch up to it, and when it does, it'll sell eventually. And so since it doesn't occupy a lot of space, it's just the header room above the garage door, I just leave it. And every once in a while something will sell from it and it'll chip away until it's eventually all gone. But yeah, good sales day yesterday. Feels good. I kind of turned off the notification for most things on my phone for sales, just because I felt like it was impeding in my day-to-day too much. Like I would sell something and then like either go to pick the order or just I don't know, it would just interrupt me in a way that I wasn't super happy with. Less notifications in your life, the better, except from actual people. So yeah, great sales day. I'm going to pick that, ship that, get it out of here. And then, then it's back to it. I mean, minutes after I turned off the camera, someone snuck in an order for $136. So significant increase in the total. I think that puts everything at 460. Pretty good. Really good. That brings up our average instead of dropping it. Yeah, I could do with more of that. Thing to note, Marvel figs. All of a sudden, Marvel figs are heating up a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm kind of outside of the Marvel movie release schedule or whatever. Haven't paid attention to it in years. But yeah, man, it's fantastic. Glad to see that stuff going because we have a glut of it for sure. Kind of, man, everything ebbs and flows here. Like Ninjago was insanely hot. It still probably is, but for me, it's cooled down. It could have just been that I've sold out of all the stuff that's considered like hot. The price is too high or something. I did increase the price on some of the Ninjago stuff that I had like $5 raised to like $7. Nothing crazy. it's in line with market. And then also things with high sell through rate, I tend to mark up a little bit. Because if I don't sell it, then I have it on hand and that's of value to me. Um, but yeah, because I always want to have a good stock of things. And so when I'm pricing things that I really like, I'm like, I'll add a little bit more to it because it's painful to see it go. Which is hard to admit. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, so that was fantastic. Happy to see Marvel stuff going. I've had times where CMFs are ripping out of here. Star Wars stuff always is just steady, real steady. Batman is insanely like sells insanely well. Like, yeah, it rivals Ninjago for sure, at least with us. It's not like your classic Batman fig. It's just like everything else. Like, that's not that, black and yellow Batman suit. Like I've got, I don't know, probably 50 of each one. But like all the other things for it, just man bat is one that sells a ton. And the older it gets, the hotter it gets. So pretty interesting. And then my medieval stuff, like my knight stuff, has just been kind of cool lately. And then it's wild because I'm just adding more and more. But it'll flow back, So I'll hold steady at my price if I continue to see it stock up. What ends up happening is someone will come and place a big order because you have a lot of stuff. So it's kind of the flip side of it. It's like everything sells eventually. You just have to either hold on, you just have to hold on to it long enough, store it, and be patient. And so, good thing to keep in mind. All right, I'm gonna go get all this stuff packed up. All right, this is embarrassing. Someone just spent another $100. That's nuts. That's pretty awesome. Wow. Yeah, happy to see that stuff come through, man. I'm like holding off on picking and hoping that this is just gonna continue. But yeah, that's our biggest day of the month, which isn't saying much because a month kind of started slow. The end of last month was incredible. All of last month was incredible. It was just nonstop. Really want to focus on just continuing to add more value to the shop so that we can sell more. I have thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff to add, but not enough time. So I'm literally going to close this and message my buddy and see if he can come in and start working with me today. So see how that goes. All right. Check in soon. Hopefully I sell something else. Well, I got derailed there for a minute. I was not cleaning, but bagging up the lunar rover to get it ready to be boxed. Right before I sent it, I was like, oh, what is that rattle in there? It sounds pretty chunky. And I was like, I could see both the minifigs are on the outside. Pop it open, and there's a set of safe keys in there, keys to someone's safe. Was surprised. I knew who I bought it from. So I had to then track down in my phone because I didn't save them and so it took a bit, gave him a phone call, super excited. The person was super excited to get him back. And it was the same person that had the Admiral Akbar set. And I was like, hey, do you also happen to have this Akbar? Shows me a photo of it a couple minutes later. And so he's going to bring that. We're going to exchange for the keys. Everything's good. So awesome. Yeah. So now not really anything missing from any of these sets, which is incredible given the total count. Like this is every time I look at a collection or talk to somebody about their collection, the number one thing I hear is it's all there. It's 100% complete. We're really meticulous about that. One time in a year and a half has that been true, and that's with this collection. Pretty wild. Hats off to him. Like that's like a true collector, man. Like nothing walked. Like, yeah, pretty impressive. I just finished boxing up the medieval blacksmith and then that lunar lander. That took too long. I spent all the time boxing up all those sets only for the sets that they buy to be the ones I didn't box up already. The medieval blacksmith, I fit in a box that was pretty small. You can actually see over there. So that top box, that's the lunar lander, and that's the medieval blacksmith. I fit the whole blacksmith in that box right there. What happened was it was too tight. There was barely any padding, and I didn't want to rebox it. So I had that other Amazon box. I kept it in that box, but I put it in another box with protective stuff all around it. So that was just a surprise. I was happy that I could do it, but then it was just too tight, and I was like, this guy's just gonna get crumbled bricks if I don't do this right. So happy to get that done. And then you want to check out what sold. Here's the Marvel stuff that sold. pretty awesome. This chess piece was $50. Like, that's not $48. I just put it on a random torso so that it doesn't get crushed when it's shipping. It'll be in a box, but still, the leverage on this is just really bad, right? Like if you press and squeeze, you'll ruin it. And so at that price point, let's make sure it arrives. What else? Yoda, Storm, my last Storm, Ghost Rider, some other stuff. Nothing crazy big. These are like 14 to 15. Yeah. Baby Groot. Oh, said Yoda. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. There's, man, the amount of stuff that I found in here, like in Lego collections and especially in built stuff, like you'd be surprised. We found some wild, I should probably bleep that. Wild stuff. Yeah. Some where you reach out to the people and some you're like, oh, I never want to talk to that person again. And yeah, so it's pretty amazing what people hide in their Lego. We found, and then in bulk, it's way worse. The most common things are like Cheerios and Nerf darts. Like that's not anything. The weirdest stuff: a dead scorpion, a dead lizard, baby teeth, like kids' teeth that had fallen out. Pretty gross. Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, we've found those things multiple times. Like pretty weird. Pair of AirPods, brand new. Contacted the person. They said they'd be over, and then a year later they still weren't here, and so we kept them. They're not the AirPods I use today. I did give them to my mom. But yeah, pretty random. I'm trying to think of any other things. Money, Sacagawea dollars. Like it's always coins and stuff. Never any bills yet. Yeah, just weird stuff, man. Like it goes in the bin and it's just gone to time and reality until we look at it. Apparently, the teeth one was the one was like that one got me. I wasn't feeling that. But yeah, wild stuff. I gotta get this stuff back. I can't believe how long that took. It's like 10:30 now. It probably doesn't help that I'm doing a video every 20 minutes. But yeah, we'll get back to it. Good morning, y'all. It is Friday. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Just had some pretty good news. First of all, sales were about 195 orders, pretty strong. But there's some news, some rumblings, and it's funny because it comes on the heels of having made a decision a little bit as far as what we're gonna do moving forward, as far as garage sales and all that. Recently, in the last, I would say 14 days, the city of Austin voted to allow more storefront businesses to operate out of homes. So something like I'm doing where you can like hide inside, that's no big deal, right? But what they're now talking about and testing is allowing people to have signage outside to keep hours and to do a lot of stuff out of their homes. Now, there are limitations to the amount of square footage, and I think I'm beyond that, but that wouldn't be hard to remedy. I would just reduce or temporarily reduce a bit of the floor plan in order to make it, half of it is just, in the front. I don't think that's a big deal. And everything that I've known about the city of Austin is it's a conversation. So, yeah, that's fantastic. Pretty wild that this is happening. Serendipitous, simulation even. But yeah, wild. So what that means for me, nothing is set in stone yet. But what that means is to not set anything in stone for us, right? We don't want to completely turn away in-person garage sales / potentially having days of the week where we're open, or maybe even weekends. In order to make sure that my family and I are still getting what we need, is we would probably, keep some random hours while we're already here. Pick those hours and then kind of hold firm to them. And then after that, that's our time. It'd be a little bit different because of the current financial state. We need to sell as much as we can. And so, it might mean sacrificing some weekends for some, time off during the week together or something, figuring that out. So, yeah, pretty interesting. That could be big. It could be really, really big. because we were successful in what we were doing. It was just taking a lot of time and not really worth it because of the setup. But if we were to keep everything set up, continually operate weekend to weekend, no, there's something that's got some legs. um, but yeah, pretty interesting. I wonder if Google would allow me to bring my Google listing back because I had my house listed on Google for a while, and it got me some really good Lego buys. Um, so I wonder if Google would let me bring it back. Basically, since this area wasn't zoned for retail, they wouldn't allow me to have a retail listing with a location, which makes sense. There was also some confusion where we had people who show up to the house when we weren't doing a sale and things like that. But it was extremely helpful when we would put garage sale signs out on a sale day, and people would drive by the sign pretty quick, and they wouldn't be able to write down the address or whatnot or memorize it, and so they would just Google it, and mine would come up very quickly. And so that was nice for getting some passerbys. Tons and tons and tons of sets. I'm going to try and finish everything off today, cleaning, and I have somebody coming. I got my buddy Keaton coming. He's going to help. I'm going to train him up on adding parts. I know he's done it at least once, but I want to get him up and going on some parts. I did yesterday. I pushed everything live, even though everything from the lot wasn't ready. Sales had kind of slowed down a little bit, and so I wanted to make sure that we had good new inventory listed so that we can continue to generate sales. Downside of that, the stuff that isn't listed is going to have a zero cost basis. It's just how it is. Yeah, kind of sucks, but it's not. It's really not a ton, and it's like B or C tier stuff. It's probably maybe $300, maybe. So not really worried about it. Upside was that I got to list everything way earlier. But since it was pouring rain yesterday, most of the day, so I wasn't able to go outside and clean sets. But what I did do, I had a collection that I bought even previous. It was just parts. Jammed through. I did all of the hair from that collection, did all the helmets, and then miscellaneous high-end accessories that I had picked up. And that, I don't know, it's so fun. Like when I haven't added parts for a while, it's like my absolute favorite thing. Like you see that little number creeping up as you're scanning more and more things in. Feels good. And then the other part of it is, you're going to generate more sales, right? Like I have more new different things, and new lots or new sales. So really trying to focus on that. It feels good to walk into the space, have tons of sets out and everything. I can't believe that we fit everything in here. I'm going to start boxing stuff up today. I think I couldn't believe that the 2 sets that sold yesterday that I spent a lot of time boxing were 2 of, I don't know, there's probably like 25 sets left that don't have boxes, or that were listed online and didn't have boxes. Now there's, 100, but yeah, pretty funny. Goes to show, can't plan for any of it. Yeah, that's going to be it. I'm probably not going to do another video for a little bit just because I'll have Keaton here. And we'll both be working on different things. My goal is to finish off the lot. Keaton's will be to add parts. And then I'm going to talk to him about potentially being here more often in order to just add parts. We need the help. We have the parts, and the way things are going, we can continue to afford it, I think. It looks like it. My goal was to take a percentage of our profits every single month and then turn that back into labor, and then use that to inform how much labor we're going to pay for. It's super simple, right? Like, hey, let's take 10% of what we're generating and turn that back in and see what we can do. But and then in actuality and execution and availability, it becomes a little bit more difficult and then problematic. And then also, we had projects that were going on here, things that I was working on. More projects coming. I've got some ideas for some lighting. And when I'm doing that stuff, I don't tend to like to have people here. Not because I'm working so fast and furious or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. I like to be, if I'm going to pay to have someone here, I want my attention to be, hey, we're working together and we're doing this thing. it might not be feasible to continue like that in the future, but that's just kind of how I like it because it's so few and far between. I like the social interaction. I like being able to chat and be present and do that stuff. And so, you know, there's not a lot of people walking into my closed garage on a day to day. So yeah, humans. Um. Anyway, yeah, pretty awesome. Super happy with how things are going right now. It feels really good. Sales are flowing. We have good backlog of stuff to add. That's always where I feel at peace. Is like, look, do I have stuff in the queue that I continue to bring in, and do I have good stuff on the tables? And I feel like I do. Also, like with the new plans for how I want to organize everything, I feel like it's got room to grow for the minifigs, and I also get some new work tabletop. And I thought those tabletops, like when it doesn't have those minifigs on it, they look incredible. Um, I love them. And then with the lighting, I think all of it's going to come together to look like I hoped it would. Um, I've talked probably about it on camera way too much. People are like, show more Lego, but this is what it's like, man. Like, this is just it. This is the truth. This is the realness of it all. These are things that I think about on the daily, and you know, I do a lot of Lego. I'm doing everything Lego, right? But at the same time, there's so much to doing this that is not Lego. So many different skills you need to be proficient in. Website organization, I don't know, just so much different stuff that you need to be on top of. I couldn't even list it all right now. Um, that like it really tests you and stretches you, but at the same time, for me, the problem solving aspect of it is the part that's the most fun. Like, how can I have this specific set of rules and then also this criteria and get to that end resolution? And like, it's something that I did at my past job as a product manager, um, and it was my favorite part. I like, and then combine that with executing. Like, I like to execute on things. I like to put it in motion, try it out, and see how it feels. And that was a part of the job that had gotten away from me a bit. There was a lot less testing it out and seeing how it feels, and a lot more commiserating about it, and yeah, just talking about it, and yeah, it's like I wanted to get out there. I want to see how it felt, how it worked, and stuff. And you know, who knows what approach is right? It's probably both, right? And that was always the way that I pushed for it. Is like little column A, little column B, those together with some sound judgment that'll get you where you need to go. And for this, it's proven to be correct, right? We spend a lot of time talking about the stuff that needs to be done, but we also are not afraid to execute and just do it and see how it feels. So yeah, a little bit of the old career bleeds in still. And then also the bookwork stuff. That's also something for me that's just like easy because it was something I had done before. But yeah, pretty awesome. Space feels really nice. Like, I can't say it enough. It's pretty dirty. Embarrassed to have Keaton come over and take a look at it, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. You're surrounded by toys, playing with toys, selling toys. Not much better. What's up, y'all? It's 5:30. I'm almost about done for this part of the day. I did something I'm pretty excited about. I wanted to show you. It's by no means complete, but it was an idea that I had, and execution-wise, it came out pretty good. I was just outside cutting out the miter saw, so I'm sweating. You see the shine? Let's take a look. Look at that. You can see I installed one light. Ignore the massive wire. That'll all be tucked back. This was just proof of concept. So I had strung up these lights before, but I was super unhappy with them because you could see the raw light when it was here and it was here, like, because it was above eye level. And so you just have this like light bar going across. What I did is I went to Home Depot, got some quarter round. It actually looks like this. I glued it this way and put the light in the underside where my thumb is. Right. So now it's shining at the figs right down this channel. And it's not going to be like in the way crazy, like crazy bright. Like I felt like a moth. I was always looking at it. So this is the quarter round right here. It looks almost exactly the same as the IKEA bookcase, Billy White. I didn't even paint these. These like match insanely well. I used super glued it in, and yeah, I couldn't believe it's super rigid. The nice part is you're only gluing it to the shelf, so like the bookcase is still unaltered. So that part's really nice. Let me see if I can get a shot of what the light looks like in there. You can just see how bright that is. I don't know if that comes across super well, but you can see I put it on the center of the little arch. It looks really good. The only part of like critical feedback I have is that I now just need to raise this one because like you can tell right there, it's getting cut off. I can't see it, but that's more than enough because I had the headroom. I just wasn't using it. Like you can see back here, there's like, I don't know, 6 inches, 5 inches of space. So I can raise this one up quite a bit, still be able to see in there and in here. And so the kit that I have for this light, it has 6 lights that can go on it. But I need 9, so I ended up buying 2. But man, it looks so good. Like that was the only issue was like it was just dark in there, right? Like you can see just like in that nook, it's just so dark. So with this improvement and not having to see the cables, like I'll hide all the cables, run them up through the back and then along one side. And man, it should look really, really, really nice. The only downside is I can still move the shelves, but with the light bar attached, it's got some limited range. But my idea is to continue to keep it rolling like this. I glued in the quarter round, I think on 4 or 5. I glued them here, here, and here so that all of those are lit, those 3. This one right here, I didn't end up doing it on because this is here, the what is that? The screen that comes out. I'm not sure if I will. I cut it for it. I used my saw, cut 9 of these. It was pretty cheap for I think it was a 12-foot stick. I wasn't too sure. It was $9. So I bought 3 of those, cut them down. These are about 31 inches long. I just used a different Billy bookshelf as just as a marker. And then after I got one clean cut, just went back and measured that one a whole bunch. I was remeasuring it after every cut. The saw blade does take off some material. So if you want it to be tight on the edges, make sure you are measuring the full length. Because like if I had started to just, this gap would have started to walk over time. But yeah, oh no, pretty awesome. It was an idea that I had. And then I was browsing Home Depot and I was like, oh, they have some molding that'll do what I was looking for. And oh no, I think it just looks great. That front row is a little dim, but the natural light will hit it a little better. I might put the next one, when I put the next light on it, I might let's see if I can do it more toward the top here instead of right now. It's sitting in the middle of this. If I do it more toward the top, it might shine down a little bit better. We'll see. Yeah, pretty awesome. On top of that, Keaton and I were able to get a ton of parts added. I want to say around $1,500. I didn't work on the collection anymore because it had just started raining. And I got Keaton adding parts and I got excited because I wanted to see some parts. We found some really cool stuff. Some good torsos, some Ninjago torsos that were over $20. Oh no, that lot I think we paid like $600 for in parts, and it's gonna end up coming out incredible. Keep in mind, actualizing that revenue and that money is gonna take quite a while because it's like, I don't know, 700 to 1,000 different parts probably, if not more. So you're gonna have to make a lot of sales in order to get that stuff gone. But that's why we do it. We build up that floor, we build up those sales. That's the timer. I got to get out of here. We did look at the distribution of sets to minifigs to parts and to see what the contribution to revenue was. And parts was just on the tail of minifigs, which is incredible. Because we weren't selling parts for until the beginning of this year. We weren't selling parts. So pretty awesome. And we have tons and tons and tons of stuff to add. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, that's it for the day. I got to go get the little one. Checking soon. All right, third time's a charm. I recorded this video already and ran out of SD card space. It is Sunday at 2 p.m. Everyone in my house is asleep. There's something going around. It's rainy. It's been a week. I don't know. I feel like every time I record one of these videos, I'm talking about someone being sick. That's just the realness of it. It's one of the benefits of doing Lego, is that when I'm down, I can still crawl in here and pack orders and get it done. So it's nice, and then be done for the day and still be making some money. So that feels really good. One of the last projects I think I had shown off was the lighting for the minifigs. I locked in where I want to keep the minifigs, and I'll show you. So I decided on these 9 bays. One, because I have a light that goes all the way to there, and then if I light these manually, I think it'll look really nice. 2, there's a screen that drops down here so that when we want to watch sports or my son wants to watch something, it rolls down. And so when that's down, protects the figs and maybe a little bit less dust. There's not a ton of dust in here, but there's still dust that falls. So that was the benefit. Also, having it closer to the door felt like a little bit more like they're safer. I don't know. That's probably weird. But this project is now done. All the wires are hidden. That was a very, very, very important part for me. I cannot stand that. These glued on here, super nice. It's a trim piece. Let me see if the camera will get this. You can see the LED light on the back of it. Hides it, and then it reflects the light back, so it's really nice. But the best part is there's a little toggle switch, and it's hidden right here. So we're just gonna hit that, and boom, we have light. It took 2 lighting kits to do, and I can kind of see the difference between them. You can see that L shape. And then those were the top 2 right there, and those 3 were from the same kit, and then those were from a different kit. So it is a bit more apparent on camera. My brain sees it really clear, but I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm just going to leave it as is. Came out super good. I hid all my cables. Let me see if you can see them. So back here, the cable goes up and then through the back, and that's for this one. This will get glued down to here. And then for this, we just went straight back. So straight back here, halfway through the shelf, and then this one goes straight up through the top. That'll get glued down as well. And then those are all hidden. That's what I did for all of them. The reason this one's twisted toward the middle like this is eye height. So like my eye height, I'll never see that cable. A tall person might be able to see it. Let's see if I can do tall person. Yep. But it looks nice still. I really just didn't want to see any cables. I did end up having to fish them from the back. And so here's my little metal rod with a hook on it. I thought that might be a nightmare, and it was not. It went really fast. The LED kit ends that I was fishing for had a little hook that I kept hitting, and they came through. So this is what it looks like. I think it looks incredible. Let me see if I can find my phone in order to toggle on the other lights. I think, well, the toggle is really cool hidden up there. I think I just want it on a switch. Like the reason, so like the toggle is also touch controlled. So if you hold it, you can dim. It's kind of cool. I just want it on the brightest setting and then tap it again and it goes off. Pretty awesome. I mean, what did that cost me? $30 for all the trim pieces. Each lighting kit was $30. And then I did end up CA gluing some stuff down and then drill bit. I don't know that I would do this on a display cabinet inside my home, but for this, like, I think it's fantastic. These are the only ones I plan on doing out of this whole thing, just because it does reduce the mobility of the shelves. They can still come out. They can move a little bit. There is slack behind it, so I could move them, but the hole that I drilled for some of these would make it pretty apparent where it's coming from. So kind of locked into this. when we do garage sales, I'll put all the figs on the tables, and then these will just go to small sets. And then I'll probably run the lights. But yeah, pretty awesome. I'm going to turn this light on over here and then put all the figs back, and then I'll show you how it looks. All right, and then let's check that out. This is with all the lights on. So we got side light, and then here's the figs put away. I think it looks good. It might be a little too bright. Let's check it out. Let's see if I can turn it down a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks nice. This one does look a little, like the color difference is less apparent when there's stuff in there. Like a lot less apparent, so that's really nice. This, in order to get in here, I need to tip it very aggressively in order to clear this. I was worried that this piece up here would make it so that you can't really see that stuff, because the space here is almost like, it's about 6 inches. But here it's probably 11 or so. But I think I can see perfectly. And then even backing up a ton looks really good. I think I definitely like it a lot less like aggressive. It looks really nice. The only part I do see is like this is pretty gnarly in the corner. It's cut like almost flush to there. Might end up reducing that and then scooting that thing down to the middle, and it should take that out a bit. But yeah, as far as passive lighting goes, it's great. And then let's go ahead and turn off these. Oh yeah, pretty cool. Man, looks awesome. Man, I'm now looking forward to, for the first time, building the rest of those, just so that I can get them up and get figs on display. We'll still have a Ninjago section, CMF section, probably CMF2. I don't think I'm going to do a Harry Potter one. I think I'm just going to bag up my Harry Potter figs. And then I'll have 3 Star Wars, 2 CMF, Ninjago, and then 1 more. So it'll be pretty rad. I'm looking forward to the 3 Star Wars. But yeah, man, the project was hairy. Like I was a little concerned while doing it. I was like, this could look really bad. But it ended up coming out really good, I think. There's still a lot of cleanup. I don't know if you can see all of it. Dusting that I need to do because I was like drilling and stuff. But looks awesome. Sales have been really, really good this weekend as well. I'm not sure what the total is because I saw stuff come through while I was doing that. And so that's really nice. I think I'm gonna, last I checked, I had 13 orders. So I think we're up to like 15. So I need to get on that. Otherwise, I'm going to spend all of tomorrow just packing, which I don't want to do. And then what was the other thing? Oh, we've got company coming in this weekend. We've got projects in the yard. I might not be able to be working as much on Lego. Also, the space is pretty messy because with company coming into town, we had to clear out our back room a little bit. And so some of the stuff that I was just storing back there, like I have some of the, what was it, like 16 minifig displays, like the old style Lego ones with the button hinge. I had a bunch of those that came in a lot that I cleaned up and listed on Bricklink, and yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to drop the price and try and get rid of them all. If you're interested, let me know. Big discount for anyone that's watching. But sweet. That's one of the things I also want to do is throw out a discount code for anyone that watches. I want to make sure that people that are watching are getting a good value. Prices we already try to set like pretty aggressively because we're here to sell Lego, not collect Lego. I don't want to collect everything. There are things I do like to collect from it, but my goal isn't to have a massive Lego collection. Okay. My goal isn't to have a bigger Lego collection. It's to be able to eat. I do have stuff that I've collected, but it's nothing. I mean, the Sealed Cloud City is technically mine. And then I have an Amidala, Deadpool, Magneto. It's like it. If I come across scarce stuff or Revan that I really personally liked, I'll hold on to it. But I just don't want to have, a bunch of mid-tier figs or something. Like, if I find something that's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this again, that means a lot to me, then I'll hold on to it. And that was like, the only box set that I have for myself is UCS Slave 1, because it was like a pristine box. I was also trying to keep a Ghostbusters Firehouse, but ended up selling it to a good friend. And then the other ones that I had were an absolutely stunning Ewok Village, and Sandcrawler. The Ewok Village was the one that I wish I had held on to, but I chose the slave one instead. So I'm sure I'll come across this stuff again. It's just sometimes you find a box that you'll never see again. I also had brand new in box UCS Death Star, like the very first one, first version, that I had to cut out of a shipping box. That was like so mint that like I'll never see another one like that again for sure. But I got a really good price for it buying it, and I got an even better price selling it. And same with the Superstar Destroyer brand new in box. Like some of those things, it's just when somebody's willing to pay your asking price for it there on the spot, it's just hard to say no. And especially when you're trying to grow this thing and turn it to something long term, it's hard to turn that away. I'm sure at some point in the future I'll get to the point where I can hold on to more things that just, as luxury items, but at this point I just don't feel like that's I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the right move for myself. It's not the right move for my family, and it's not the right move for the business. So when the right price comes for any of this stuff, willing to let it go, but it doesn't mean I have to put it at the bottom price for things that I really care about and want to keep. Yeah, we ended up pushing all of the used sets live. We did a bunch of parts the other day. Those will get pushed live very soon here. I'm thinking about trying to have a rhythm for when I push parts live. I don't want it to be just sporadic. I would like to try and sync it up with video releases so that when I push a video live, that maybe the parts I've been working on for that week then go live. That way, if anyone sees anything in the videos, they can snag it or whatnot. But that might take some coordination. I know so if you're seeing this video, there's already been a lot of videos that have been released. We have a pretty big backlog. I'm not sure the actual date of when they're releasing, but there's a big backlog. And so we're going to be pretty aggressive in the beginning and then tone it down. I'd like to get to a cadence of once a week where I release my whole week, like all the stuff that we did for the week. Maybe be a week behind, I'm not certain. But yeah, I'm hoping that if there's, a good enough following, then we can go ahead and get to the point where we're releasing more often, or trying to, like I said, do some of that stuff in conjunction where new stuff that comes in, you can see it come in and then it becomes available that same day. But yeah, awesome. I love this light project. The more I look at it, the more it's just so nice. Like those little cubbies were dark, man, like super dark. And now it really lightened up an area of the shop that was pretty dim. And then it gets the figs out. And so now I'm going to have this whole table ready to work on. I got to put all these sets back. There's a bunch of sets that I had moved I didn't want to be drilling and gluing and doing all this stuff near this. And then, mistakes happen and you drop CA glue on something. I'm not about that life. So yeah, pretty awesome. I'm happy. This button's kind of cool. Whoa, where's my forehead? Well, hey, kind of cool. But I think I just want to switch, like control it from my phone type of deal. Wow. Thing. That is bright. Pretty cool. Oh man, for the price, you really can't beat this. Like I was looking at the other part was like I looked at other solutions to try and see what other people had done in Billy bookcases because they're like a super common display item. And there just wasn't anything that was great. And then it was expensive and chunky and like you could see it just wasn't as low profile as this. And so, just made my own. Awesome. Yay. All right. I think that's it for the day. I don't think I expect to do anything else except for try and clean up in here. Cleaning is the name of the game for a bit as company comes and this project. I'm glad you guys can't see all of the sawdust chunks and spare wire and stuff that are on the floor that I now need to clean up. But we'll check in soon. Hey, y'all, this was a trick that I learned a while ago, but it wasn't until I got the right marker did it actually end up working correctly. I got one of the letters off. I didn't want to show the profanity, but so This is removing permanent marker with a dry erase marker. I've done full figs before. I had a Minbin Stormtrooper. It's like a $60 fig, completely covered in silver and black marker, and I used a dry erase marker. It took quite a while to get off, but just chipped away at it. And this is kind of what it looks like. You can see somebody. I got the first letter off. I actually, when I saw this in the lot, I laughed pretty hard and asked the parent about it. The first letter was removed really, really easily. So let's see. I was using a black marker to do this, but I think I'm gonna do it with a different color just so you can see kind of how it's actually working. And like you need to kind of scrub with it. Here in Austin, HEB is everything. It's a local grocery store chain, and it's amazing. And these markers were the first markers that I've ever found that actually do this. I've heard rumor that, you know, it can be done with dry erase marker, but you really need to find the right ones. So if you notice, it's here. I'm like, you actually are scrubbing it off as you're going over it. So like, let's do this K real quick. If I go like that, you can still see the K under it or whatever. But if you actually use the marker to scrub, it'll get it to come off. And so you do that just a little bit, and then you'll see that it kind of dissipates into the green, and then wipe it off. Takes a couple of passes, but I always try and match the color I'm using because like you can kind of see residual green here. I'm gonna switch back to the black because it'll come off with that. If I can find it right, but it's a good trick. And it can really, really, really turn some things around that you just were like, oh, I don't think that's salvageable. Here I'm trying to get the green off from the previous marker. After this, I'll probably end up using some Windex or just a different little thing on it in order to try and get anything else that's residual up. Let the dry erase marker dry before you wipe it, because that can lead to a lot of the smearing that we just saw, like with the green. If you go too fast with it, it doesn't wipe up like a dry erase marker. It's really hard to do this with one hand. So like, there you go. And then you can see most of the green has come off as well. Let's take a look. So yeah, there's still a little essence of it right there. I'm going to go over that one more time and see if we can finish it all up. The important part is make sure that you let the dry erase marker dry. Like you said, like when we're using the green color one, it just smeared. But yeah, I mean, I've salvaged some crazy stuff with these. And you know, you can just beat them up. They last quite a long time. This is my second set that I've had, and the first set lasted forever, like over a year. And it's only because I lost them that I ended up having to get new ones. All right, so this looks dry. Go ahead and wipe it off. This isn't just for Lego. You can use it on anything. Like dry erase marker gets on any, or permanent marker gets on anything. Dry erase, like the right dry erase marker can get it right off. And there you go. Not much residual left. I think just one more little pass, and then it'll be good. Yeah, make sure you find the right marker. It might take a couple of tries in order to get one that works. Like I have these, and they don't work for me. So when I'm trying to do it, that's just a marker we use as a dry erase marker. So yeah, little trick, use it. Let me know how it goes. All right, y'all, I'm just about to call it for the day, but I did pick everything while I was on the phone with some friends. I wanted to show you what we have because I know I'll end up packing it and forget. Some cool stuff. CMF series. Looks like most of them are a good chunk. Astronauts from Lego Movie. Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and then the Kashyyyk Troopers always sell well. Ninjago, random parts. Man, ultra disappointing. I had this head super damaged. Had to reach out to the person. I had this torso that somebody ordered 2 of. I only had 1, and the 1 was cracked. Like, not sure how that happened. And then right after, one of the other items that someone ordered was a Ezra Bridger. Just don't have it. It was clear from the label that I didn't have it because it was listed in a destination that we don't have anymore. So I need to go back and like see if I have any other items listed as that. But yeah, Kind of disappointing. I had to send out 3 messages for just out of what 13 to 16 orders. I can't remember, and that's pretty bad. I'm not super happy about that. Um, Obviously, the reason I send messages and don't just send the order is because I want to make sure that the people still want the items that they ordered. A lot of times when I order, I only want that collection of items, and I'm willing to pay that price because they have that collection. As soon as an item is removed from that, then it becomes an issue. I was ordering roof tiles for the Quickie Mart, and when I was ordering it, I added a note that was like, please, like, only send this order if you have both of these items, because it was the whole reason I was ordering from them. So that was pretty disappointing. The other items that sold this X-Wing that I had just listed for $50. That was awesome. Bionicle is still rolling out of here. And then the Han Solo set was at $29. Super nice. I had packaged these up, so now all I have to do is box them up, bag that, and super, super fast. It feels good selling stuff that's already listed. I think my lights just flickered. It's about to get crazy stormy here. So we'll see. Man, those lights, look at that. It looks really cool. My son came in here and was like, I really like that, Dad. Made me proud. But yeah, pretty awesome. I'll get that stuff sent out in the morning first thing. But I like picking the orders because it at least sets me up for a really strong morning. Otherwise, it can be when we have a good weekend, it can be 2 hours in the morning. And so if I get a late start, it's 11:30 or whatever before I'm driving packages over, and I don't like bringing it that close to the wire. So I'm gonna call it. But man, we got a lot done today for a Sunday, that's for sure.